Every great day starts with the right support. For balance and focus wherever your day takes you. Feel moments of joy even during your busiest days. Nourish your well-being from the inside out. Health in harmony for you and your loved ones. Holistic Way, your trusted Singapore's #1 health supplement brand.
Okay, so we have a super lively and exciting conversation lined up today. Before we jump straight into it, I just need to take a moment to thank our sponsor, Holistic Way. With a suite of premium natural health supplements, Holistic Way has garnered numerous accolades and awards, earning the trust of both Singaporeans and globally as well. Holistic Way is a well-reviewed and beloved brand, living up to its promise as Singapore's #1 health supplement brand. Okay, so today we have an amazing, lovely panel with us. We've got the cast of Our Boys to Men, which is Singapore's, as Joshua rightly pointed out just now, highest grossing film franchise.
Got to name names.
Yeah. So we have Joshua Tan with us. We have Bunz. We have Tosh Rod. We have Maxi Lim, Noah Yap, and Charlie Goh. And we're going to be talking about many different things, especially acting and what it was like acting in A Boys to Men. So I'm going to jump straight into it and throw a question to Noah, Joshua, and Tosh, because I understand that this was your very first acting gig, right? A Boys to Men. So maybe, Tosh, why don't you start? Why don't you tell us what that was like going into it? What was the audition like? Did you have any acting experience at all before that? And yeah, what was the biggest challenge of acting?
I was a film student in Polytechnic, so we did many projects in class where sometimes we were broke students, right? So we couldn't hire actors, so we had to act by ourselves sometimes.
Is that when you realized there was something about acting?
Oh no, that's when I realized I cannot act. because I love like directing and editing back then. And there was one short film that I did with my schoolmates, and then they recommended, hey bro, why don't you just give it a try? And then I did it, and then when we finished the edit, they all look at me and say, I think you just stay behind the scenes.
How did A Boys to Men audition come about? How did that role come to you?
I was a YouTuber at the time, and then I think J-Team and Jack Neo, they saw my vlogs on YouTube, because at the time I was quite controversial. Like I had no filter, and I would just comment on everything from the MRT breaking down to politics and things like that. So basically, Jack Neo and his team, they saw my videos, and they contacted me and asked me whether I'm interested to come down for an audition. So that's how
Fantastic. Yeah. Cool. And what about you, Noah? And I understand you were 18 at the time, so you hadn't even done BMT or anything?
So A Boys to Men was my BMT during that time, But I remember since young, I've always wanted to try out acting, but I didn't get the opportunity to do so. But like Tosh, YouTube was my starting point. I was doing videos back then, and I got noticed by Jack Neo and his team. And eventually I went for auditions. So that's how it came about.
Cool. And was that the role that you auditioned for?
No, we auditioned for every role.
Okay, got it.
So just nice, I suit that character.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You suited the IP man character. Got it. And what about you, Joshua?
I guess similar to Tosh, I was also in Ngee Poly Mass Comm. So we did dabble in a bit of short filmmaking. I think opposite to Noah and Tosh, I wasn't selected to go in for audition. I walked in. So I joined, I think it was almost 1,000 people who auditioned back then. How it happened was, I remember it came out in the papers. So back then, auditions was still not so online. And it was like an open casting call. Anyone could go in. And I was like, oh yeah, I'm gonna give this a shot because it's Jack Neo, right? So I rocked up in like my shorts and slippers and singlet and booked out straight after army.
The shades, don't forget the shades.
No shades. There wasn't any shades for audition. Don't twist my story, asshole. But I actually think I did really badly. So I wasn't selected to be in the initial shortlist.
No, you were eliminated, bro.
No, don't say that. I wasn't selected. I wasn't eliminated.
You were eliminated.
No, but
I don't know why they got one extra slot.
Shut it. This is my story. You shut your trap. You get your
Ken
chance
Chow,
later.
the role was,
You another
was
one.
supposed to not
Get
act
out
on this
of
properly.
This is a round table. Hey, come on, let's keep it round.
This is just the start.
Yeah,
of
this is the
yeah.
beginning. But it's the end for them.
Yeah.
So let's pick it up from me. So I actually, I don't think I did too well in my audition. It was in Mandarin, and I think I butchered the audition script. So I wasn't selected initially. And what I found out later was they had drawn up a short list of like 20 potential actors that they wanted to see. And what they told me later was one of the guys in the initial shortlist dropped out. So they just like randomly picked me to join that shortlist. And then I remember this vividly because my second audition was with Jack Neo. And he asked me, because he could clearly see I was not gifted in Mandarin, so he asked me if I spoke English. I said, yes, I speak English. So would you prefer to do your lines in English? So I did it, and he actually changed the script to English for me because I was so bad at Mandarin. And yeah, I didn't actually audition for any other role except Ken Chow because I don't think I could do any other role. And yeah, so that was that.
I remember you got chosen because you somehow resemble this Taiwanese actor.
No
that time.
way.
Oh, I
No
know who, I know
way.
who.
Right.
Yeah, because
No
they
way,
wanted
yeah.
to cast him one.
Yeah,
They
then
wanted to
this
cast
was
the
a
Taiwanese
cheaper
actor.
option. Then they
This is purely for the looks only.
Right.
Curtain
Dong.
It's not.
That's so wild.
Yeah, now we got a Singapore
I
version.
think they
不会自
wanted to
动
cast him.
End of the day, I don't even know who's Curtin Dong, but I know who Joshua Tan is.
You know who is 不会自
Thank
动
you.
啊？
Thank
哎
you,
呀
yeah.
不会自动啊。
It's past already.
That's such a wild story, actually.
Yeah.
The fact that you got eliminated first and you came
No,
back.
I wasn't
Oh, sorry,
eliminated.
maybe
I was not selected. Can you don't
Sorry, I'm not.
be
you were
influenced by
not
his narrative?
Your
in the
comeback
shortlist.
story. This is your
Yeah.
comeback story.
Your story's got to stop.
Got
You're
it.
ruining my reputation.
We can get the
I
cast team
was not
team back.
eliminated. I was not selected. It's
Okay,
different.
got it. Okay.
Yes.
Okay, and,
Very hard to moderate.
and A Boys to Men is such a challenging, physically demanding role, I would imagine. So I'm very curious, how did you prepare for it? Like maybe for Maxi and for Bunz. I mean, in Frogman in A Boys to Men 3, how did you prepare for something that was so challenging?
I guess for Frogman, it's actually the most fun project that we ever embarked on. And we spent like, I think 3 months of training. There's a lot of different training that we went through. First with the Naval Diving Unit, and then we went through some stunt training. And on top of that, I think there's
Physical training as
strength
well.
and conditioning training that we do at this place at Yishun.
Yeah.
So there's one more training, right?
Three only.
And yeah, scuba diving training.
Oh, yeah.
So
Open paddy.
and
yeah,
you-
so there's
open
like
paddy, yeah.
4 aspects of training before we went into the shoot, and this actually helped everyone to like gel together before the shoot. This is what happened, you know, whenever we did A Boys to Men 1, 2, then we did Lion Man, and sort of everybody just did their own thing again. So the training sort of brought everybody back together again before we started filming.
That's really cool.
Yeah.
And Bunz, what was your experience like? Because you came on 3,
Yeah,
right?
I came on Lineman. Yeah, I got into J-Team doing Lineman phase, then Frogman. Like what Maxi mentioned, I think Frogman is the one film that really sort of inspired all of us. Actually, we are not really acting, I would say. Like we were really doing whatever.
Yeah. We were like recruits back then.
We were living day by day.
Yeah, we have really been pushed to, because we are not conditioned in that sense that because the guys who actually went through the BMT with NDU had a way longer run time than the rest of us. But we have to look physically, we can resemble them in order to represent the NDU unit, right? So that's why we have to go through all the trainings, and we also did dieting.
Yeah.
Right, we also did dieting, and we have to force ourselves to really shape up in order to look like them. I think it was tough, but at the same time, I think that was what inspired all of us to rebuild that friendship that a lot of them, because for me, I'm a new addition. So it was the first time that I felt like, wow, this bunch of guys are really very driven and very motivated, and they're very down to earth. That was my perspective for joining them filming A Boys for the first time.
Yeah.
Actually, he really had it rough. I can remember very vividly, right, when we were doing the physical training, he was the one that vomited. when we was jogging at Sembawang, right?
That was the first day actually.
Yeah, first day. Then after that, where we did our buddy training, the one where we go scuba diving, right?
Yeah.
Then he
I
vomited
also
inside
vomited.
underwater.
Yeah.
Oh, you
And he
vomited
knows
two
bad
times
also, he knows
Yeah,
bad.
yeah.
Oh yeah. So he kena the worst, like out of all his.
No, because the first one, I remember now.
You remember?
The
Yeah.
first one we went because it was first day of our training.
Yeah, and we jogged like insane. Like I think 10 click.
Oh, that was
More
crazy.
than that,
Yeah,
man.
it was
It
crazy.
was more than that.
But he was damn steady. He jogged, right? It was towards the end, right? Maybe the last 2 click or what, right?
Yeah.
Then he cannot tahan. He went to the drain. Then he peed. After that he continued, no. Then this guy, he jogged and then he go hospital.
Wow.
Really?
You forget
Yeah,
lah.
I forgot.
Jasper sent you to the hospital, I don't remember.
Too traumatic. You just blocked it out.
Yeah.
I don't know.
So on the first day, was it the first day also? May not be the first day.
I don't think so.
But he jogged, right? Until
No,
he said he
that
got
was-
stomach ache or something like that.
I think that was like, wow.
You remember or not?
No, yeah, I went to hospital, but not because of the jogging. It was like,
Yeah, it's not because of jogging.
I
but you
can't,
were
I
already
can't
not
say it
feeling
here.
well
I
already.
don't know if I should say it. It's like a constipation thing
Yeah,
after
yeah.
like dehydration, constipation.
Yeah,
Dehydration,
and
stitches and
Yeah.
all.
And so
Yeah.
in the day, right, he already complained that he had this pain. Then we all tell him don't kick.
So it's almost like in the script, right?
Yeah.
It's-
Then after that, he
Yeah.
really like he pushed himself through the training with the pain, but nobody knows because he says it's pain, but we don't believe lah. We just say you're trying to fake it so
Yeah.
that you can slack off training, man. Because training really damn xiong. Then after that, he finished the training. He went to hospital.
Actually, I
What
went
caused
to,
him to go to the hospital?
Kind of.
I
Yeah.
went to the hospital so many times for frogman, man.
Oh,
I got
really?
like a big cut
Yeah.
from one of the scenes.
Yeah.
I go to hospital. Then for this constipation problem, then I got UTI also. 胃镜医院.
You got UTI in
Yeah,
frog, man.
because I think the Singapore water too dirty or what. Like that time, 重进山去
没有
路。
拼好哎，自己肮脏你还怪新加坡的水？
那个来那边的后边
So they not easy to get one 哎。wait.
Then I got the shit problem, then the UTI, then the cut, bro. I went to hospital 3 times, man.
I got a question, bro. So like all of us actually swam in the same sea, but none of us got UTI. So could it be that it's
It's a
something
hygiene
else?
problem lah. It's a
Could it be
hygiene
a,
problem.
could it be a
UTI is
STD?
hygiene problem straight up 嘞，walao。
You just say it's a SDI. Your head. I was so busy training. Where got time to do that kind of stuff?
Okay.
I was in camp.
Okay, next.
Okay,
next.
Let's walk it back a little bit. So on the topic of this, because you put yourself through so much, right? Physically, it's so demanding. So I'm very curious, what was the experience working like under Jack Neo? Because how much control do you have over what you can give and what's demanded of you? And how would you describe his directing style and how did it resonate with you personally? So maybe Tosh, do you want to start?
I think for Jack Neo, right, his style, his directing style is very he goes by feeling. Like sometimes we will have script read and we'll go through the entire script. But after working with him on part 1 and part 2 and Lion Man, we realized that you just need to know the rough flow of the scene, but don't memorize the lines. Because when we come to set, right, he would suddenly just change everybody's lines, and sometimes the flow is totally different. Like, and he's very open to us giving suggestions. Like maybe he hear us saying something when we're having breakfast, and he say, "Hey, that's quite funny. Maybe you can do that later."
Yeah.
So he's a very go with the flow, freestyle kind of director.
Yeah. How much of the story or the script was improv? I'm very curious.
I think I want to
yeah.
add on that
Yeah.
because recently me and Maxi had a chance to go back on set with him for his latest film, and I think for me personally, it brought back a lot of memories because I haven't worked with him for a long time. The last time I worked with him was, I'm not sure if it's 2015.
No lah, August, right?
17.
17,
But that was
17.
okay.
Cameo,
But
yeah,
it's been
cameo
a
lah.
while. It's been a while since I worked with him, and I think after working with other directors and then going back to director Jack, wow, it was a real reminder of how he is such an instinctual director. He's very feelings-based, like what Tosh said. Most directors, especially when you work on drama sets, they are very fixated with planning or for time constraints, we prioritize certain things. But for him, he purely prioritizes 以戏为主, like
The story.
He prioritizes the story. He prioritizes the film over everything else. And I think it's a great trait to have, but it's hard for some people to work with him at the same time. So like recently just working with him again, like almost every take I had to say was a different iteration. Like almost every take, it was changed on the spot. So not just for me, like other actors, especially Huike, who struggle sometimes with memory because it's old, right? So for him to remember a new take, a new line every take is really, really tough. Not everyone can do it. So he's a very spontaneous, instinctual director who prioritizes the story over everything else.
And is he, does he feed you lines, or do you have to constantly be improvising?
So
Charlie, do you
one
wanna-
thing okay, the reason why he constantly changes the lines, right, is because when he gives you a line and he will ask you to say it, okay, 你讲一次, 你讲一次. Then when you say it, right, when he hears it and he feels that it's unnatural for you, he'll try to change it. So I think that's one of the reasons why his movies are always very relatable, because every line that comes out of every actor's mouth, right, it sounds very natural. It sounds like it's from that person. Because he'll keep changing the lines until when you say it, it sounds natural. Yeah, that's why the characters are all very relatable. And that's why sometimes filming for him, it might take longer hours because he will constantly tweak things.
Yeah.
What was the question again?
No, basically about improvising.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah. If not, let's say if the line is supposed to be this and he'll ask you to say it, and if you can't say it like the way he wants it to sound, right, then he'll ask you to, how about you try to say it in your own style?
Got it.
Yeah.
I think at first it was really, really hard to adapt to this style because a new paragraph is like being added. You got chunks that are like removed. You have to the order of the script is being changed. It is then I discovered that it's actually very, very hard to write comedy. So comedy has to depend a lot on him, Jack, and our chemistry.
Yes.
So this is why we always say the lines, and we'll fix the lines just before the shoot because we will do a lot of rehearsals just before the take. Yeah. Because really, really hard to write comedy.
And on the topic of comedy, how much control do you feel you had over the comedy? How much of it was you and how much of it was Jack? I'm very curious because that line between actor and director is always very blurred, right?
Yeah.
Maybe Noah, do you want to touch on this?
I think I like the fact that every day on set is it feels like a collaborative effort between the actors and the director himself. Like he doesn't shy away from the suggestions that we give him, and he doesn't immediately say no, we can't do this or what. Yeah, I mean, if the line or the action that we do fits the role and fits the character, I'm very sure that he's open to putting in that, and also he has his own inputs that we can always work on, and that's why the line, like what Charlie said, is always very relatable. Yeah, because it's 50-50 ma.
And so much of the charm of Our Boys to Men is also comedy, right? And comedy is really one of the hardest things to get right, whether it's in acting or writing. So how did you develop your comedic style? Is there people that you looked up to?
This one is purely talent.
You know what? Just now when you said the collaborative effort, 我真的要笑。
I was holding my laughter.
I realized in all your scenes, all those sexual innuendo were never in the script, bro. 是你自己 improv 出来的，是你自己
When
add
did we have any sexual innuendo?
Yeah,
What are
bro.
you talking
Those
about?
like you take the tank, that antenna, and started making it. All that kind of stuff were never in the script.
Yeah,
That's why
because if it's good,
your
right? That's why I
own
say
improv,
Jack
bro.
loves it. If it's good, Jack loves it. Trial and error, ma. Yeah, acting is trial and error. Yeah, if it's good, then just nice in the movie lah.
It's your talent.
Talent. Yeah, to always try and try again.
Yeah.
But talent makes sense lah, because Jack, I think what is very unique about him is also he's able to really spot the personality that you have, whether you will fit the character, rather than you have to craft a character on your own. Because a lot of us are new actors when we just started. To be able to craft a character is actually quite difficult, especially for comedy. And with his experience in 搞笑行动 so many years, right? He's able to see the personality in each one of us,
He
Then,
knows how to typecast, right?
Yes.
He's really good at that.
Actually,
He's
talking
really
about
good.
that, right?
Yeah.
I got to mention that actually Director Jack really casts people very well, and one of the best examples is Wei Liang for Lobang King, because when you walk in the room, right, you look at Wei Liang, it's hard to separate him from Lobang. It's hard to see the difference, and you can really see the kind of comedic kind of effect he has on the whole set. Like when Lobang King has his scenes, right, it's just you just want to keep watching him, and I think that's what makes Director Jack really so good at what he does. Is typecasting and spotting the right talent for the right character. And I think one of his biggest success stories is Wei Liang, for Lobang King and Maxi for Aloysius.
The funny thing about Maxi is that everybody, after the movie come out, right, everybody thinks that he is Wayang King. Because nobody meet him before, ma. So everybody thought that he's really like that in person. Until you really meet him. And then he introduces himself as an MMA fighter and everything.
That is trash, man. I never say that, bro.
No, I was going to say you're very different from your character.
But
which is,
I'm like having the repercussions of that movie. Because every day people will tell me, hey, secret 不是 no secret. Because of that show, bro. Every day I have to hear that line.
But I remember Wayang King for a very long period of time that nobody was able to find a suitable person to fit the role of Wayang King.
Yeah.
Because I think everybody tried for that role, but nobody just happened to. Okay.
Yeah.
And until this guy wears specs.
Maxi is the exception to the rule I just mentioned because he is actually not like Aloysius at all. He's like a really Chao being like very gangster, smoke. I think part of his charm, right, is that Jack was able to adjust him so well that he really kind of melded into Aloysius. And I think you got to admit that you got a bit of Aloysius in you still, like somehow.
No, you sure have one.
Yeah, there's
Sure
a
have.
part of Aloysius in
There's
you.
a part of him that wants to be a woos. Yeah. But it's just not shown.
He's dead, lah, bro. He's dead. He's dead.
You just give him a pair of glasses, right?
Yeah,
He
he transformed,
sit,
yeah.
the guy will come
I
out,
think
the
maybe
guy will
when
come
you were in Sec 2, you were that character.
Hey, but how?
But you want to kill it out.
No, I'm very curious how the director Jack
Design that character.
No, like not design, like discover that you can actually try this.
Okay, so at that point of time, I think we went through the boot camp and I think it was several rounds of the audition already. And at that point of time, I think there were 3 potential Wayang Kings. And those guys were legitimate nerds.
Really, man?
So
Yeah.
they were
Yeah, the really the gong one. No, for real. Then I was
They were
thinking,
really Wayang King,
yeah,
lah.
including me.
Right.
Me inside, there's 3
okay,
lah,
okay.
Who's the
potential.
other 2, you know? Not?
Forgot about them
okay,
already.
okay, then,
yeah. So the challenge would be if director Jack has to direct them on set, I think it will be a bit tough because they are legitimate 就是这种公公的. Then how do you direct them?
So there's no
They
acting.
cannot
lah.
act lah. Cannot act lah.
Yeah.
On that note, I'm very curious because if he had casted them, was there any chemistry test at any point in the audition?
think the movie will be-
no
boot camp was
chemistry
the,
test.
I think the show
boot camp
will
was
be a
the
flop.
chemistry
test.
Ah, okay, got
I
it.
think 如果选到他们, the movie will be a flop.
No, you haven't answered my question. So how did director Jack?
Oh
try-
yeah, so I was actually the last guy to get chosen.
Yeah.
So 他们真的找不到人. So at the last point, I think Jack was like, Maxi, 不然你戴一个眼镜啊? Because that time they say I was like, I still don't know who I'll be playing. So I said, 你戴一个眼镜.
Yeah.
Then 你演这个金夏兰一下.
Yeah.
Then I just did what I could do. Then I got the role. So he straight away make this phone call. Okay, 全部 boys 找到了，我们可以开拍 in 2 weeks.
Also, you were the last character
I was
lah.
the last to get casted.
So actually you were eliminated at the start lah.
No, I wasn't eliminated.
I remember you were actually supposed to be Sergeant Ong.
Yes.
At first, he was chosen to be the sergeant at first.
But then you got the role, and I think nobody could have done a better
you
job.
do Sergeant Ong, then I am Aloysius actually.
Please, bro.
That's like the alternate universe.
And also, what about what's your audition process like?
Same as the rest.
Were you originally cast as Lobang King?
No. We auditioned for different roles. Then I just got one of the small bunk character roles.
Okay.
Yeah, we all auditioned for. I auditioned for his role. I can't remember if I auditioned for it. I auditioned for Lobang King. I auditioned for the sergeant's role.
And was this the role that you wanted?
No, I didn't audition for this role. Mine was just a side character.
What I mean is, were there any roles that you wished you really got?
Initially, they casted me as the one of the sergeants. I think the Sergeant Hing's role. Initially, I was casted for that before they shifted me into the main bunk character.
I see. Okay. Just now, Maxi mentioned that it's hard to shake off the "my secret is no secret" line, right?
Yeah.
So, how do you feel as Our Boys to Men has contributed to your career or shaped? And it's been a couple of years now since the last film, or some of you have worked on it. But yeah, how is that? What has the impact been on you? Bunz, do you want to take this one?
For me, it's really a very different experience as compared to, I think, everybody here. Because they've been through Our Boys to Men 1 and 2. That was a huge success. Like literally, that was the film that made a lot of Singaporeans go back to cinema and watch a film, really, sit down and watch it. And that's why it explains the box office. Like, I was only there for Lion Man 1 and 2. Honestly, Lion Man's box office didn't do that well. Yeah, but we had a great chance to, because I was doing music production back then. Then I managed to do a few songs. Then we went on a mini performance tour with the rest of the guys. Then when Our Boys 3 happened, I think that was the first time I actually realized that what kind of the bandwagon I'm riding on. It was like first time in my life, then you go for fan meets, like they're really like, people are crowded, like occupy the entire mall. I could not even comprehend how would that feel like. So if it's not for the film, there wouldn't be the opportunity to actually bring a lot of our work to the public eye. And especially I think with our Boys to Men 3, we also did a mini concert in Malaysia. So there was a lot more opportunities and doors opened because of the film. Yeah, and even up to now, I think a lot of people still recognize the characters from our Boys to Men when we go out. Yeah, so and that also brings a lot of other opportunities in terms of being an actor in Singapore especially.
Yeah, and for Joshua, since you started with A Boys to Men, how do you feel that legacy has shaped your journey as an actor? Or as a producer as well?
I think for most of us, actually, especially who started with 1 and 2, we found it in a way like a shadow always like hanging over us. I think we found it hard to replicate that success in a way, to be honest, because I think we can all accept the fact that it was a success. 1 and 2, and even subsequently 3 was a success. And I think for me personally, I can speak for myself that I found it hard to go back to the ground after like reaching those heights, because not every project is gonna be so successful, right? As much as we want to be known as an actor, in a way, because we started out with this film, we kind of like always got known as our characters. So for the first few years of my career after A Boys to Men, I really struggled with like, can I just do something else than play Ken, or like play a soldier, or like be cast in another like military kind of genre. None of my other projects did as well as that ever since, and I always kind of like, I wouldn't say resent, but like I felt like if only I had started with another project, like I worked my way up, I would see a gradual curve and then like find success through hard work, but I didn't. In a way, we all started out with a big bang, and then for me, I found it hard to replicate that success. But recently, I think I've come to appreciate it for what it is. And it's a blessing, it's a huge blessing for us. And it's something that we will always look back on and we'll be so proud that we were in it. So now, as a producer, of course, I look at it with a different lens. And I think I see the value of what I can call a franchise, the A Boys to Men franchise, as something that really galvanized the Singapore film industry. I think it was special because I don't think we've had kind of a movement like that where all the Singaporeans will go to the theatres to every CNY because we want to watch this film, and it's Singapore made, it resonates with all of us, and everyone will go down. Of course, I really hope that we'll keep improving and we'll soldier on, so to speak, and keep doing more cool stuff for Singapore film, but
that shadow of the legacy is very long. Right?
Yeah, it is. It's quite a shadow on us. But I think if I were to disregard ourselves, I see A Boys to Men as a great point in Singapore film's history, and I feel that we can definitely push on with that. It's something great. I don't think it's a bad thing. Maybe people may feel that its satire is maybe not as highbrow as it can be. It's quite common, but it doesn't matter, right? Like, it's still film, it's still art, and we can only improve, I feel.
Maxi's like shaking his head.
Maxi,
No, I'm just laughing at his face.
laughing.
She looks like he got something to say.
Do you want to add on that? Were you also typecasted? What was your journey like after A Boys to Men, or even now? Like, how has that shaped you?
Yeah, after the movie was launched, I think for the first couple of years, I kind of was typecasted to always play like similar characters.
Wussies.
Yeah, Wussi's role, Yeah.
I remember.
Talk about that,
So after like Frogman, which was like 2015, right? I tried to reinvent myself. That's when I tried to lose weight.
Yeah.
I guess sometimes a bit sad is I think when it comes to casting personnel, sometimes they can't really see beyond how you look like.
Yeah.
Change
your look.
in order to get different roles.
Which you did it lah.
Yeah, and I did it. So I get like way different roles, like
proud of
the
it.
guy that I played in Kin and a few other different characters.
And Charlie, how about you? What was were you typecasted after A Boys to Men?
I was always casted as like, I always get bad guy roles. So it's like almost like a typecast lah. It's only after A Boys to Men 3, then I started to do a little bit of Channel 5 stuff, right? And those were like not bad guy roles, yeah. I wouldn't say I got Typecasted, lah, not as much as him, lah, I would think. Yeah, I'm quite fortunate in that sense, lah. But it's still a little bit here and there. Yeah, Singapore industry is like that, lah.
Yeah.
Generally, it's the easiest way of casting, typecasting.
And Noah, how about you? How has Our Boys to Men shaped your journey as an actor? Because I know you do several of you do many different things. In your case, you also MC and things like that. So like, how has that shaped your career?
Our Boys has always been a blessing to me, and it still is. Definitely got me more opportunities to branch out and do other things. Going back to typecast, I think I've always been typecasted as the funny guy, but I'm also taking steps to get different roles to try to break out of that typecast also. Yeah, but Our Boys has definitely helped me to secure other jobs like hosting and especially in social media as well.
And you mentioned you want to break out of that funny role. So what does that look like for you? Do you mean like more dramatic,
I've always wanted to
serious?
play a villain. Yeah,
okay.
like a really, really bad guy, like a bit mad one.
Joker.
No, no, no,
kinda siao one,
actually, maybe. Yeah.
You can.
Some like psycho villain.
I think that's a really interesting note because I'm very curious what other roles some of you have wanted to always play but maybe haven't had the chance just yet.
Maybe can I just add on to the
yeah.
typecasting part? I don't think it's an issue. I mean, it's a good way to especially use younger talents for directors because a lot of us don't have that experience, so that typecasting that person that he already have the trait. But that also brings us with the problem that we don't really have a system of training in Singapore for actors, which is quite, when we look back at ourselves, we want to improve the craft, right? It's really difficult because we don't have an avenue to actually go and brush our knowledge in terms of acting, unless you go overseas. But whereby if you compare to maybe Korea or even China, they have a school, a system for you to go through. At least you do the really fundamentals, make sure that your dictions are good, make sure that your body language are good. Do all that training first before you even get a chance to act. But a lot of us are like, okay, to be honest, right? We got a chance to be picked from the streets by Jack, and we will put it into a role, and we were lucky enough to made it with the film. But back to the fundamentals is like when we want to act another person, when we want to take on another, we don't have the capacity or the knowledge to do so. And this one cannot be blamed on the directors. So when I look at you, if I want to cast you for something else, but the show reel that you send me or the acting reels you send me doesn't meet the criteria, I can't use you, right? Then I have to fall back to, okay, this is you, this is how you are like in a real person, and if I have a role like that, then maybe I can offer you.
I think to break out of this typecast, you must also try to do more roles and get more jobs.
But it's a cycle, isn't it?
It's a
If you don't get
Because
shortlisted
people
in the
won't
first
give you that
place,
chance.
No, as in,
you know?
just I don't know, just find a way to change.
so you got to produce your own.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I think
that's
in
one
Singapore
way.
it's like that.
That's
lor.
one way.
Because you cannot expect a director to want to cast somebody who he thinks that maybe
Yeah.
can
he
do
can
the
do
job.
it,
Then he has to give
yeah.
himself extra work on set,
Yeah.
The
Like, try to
imaging also
tweak.
plays a big part.
It does.
in changing your look also.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm noticing that, there's the theme that's coming out is that actors also have to think like producers in some ways. Like, how can I land this role? How can I make this role for myself? Something like that. So what is something about the film industry or the TV industry in Singapore that really bugs you that you wish you could change? Because you mentioned craft, right? This idea of craft. And I think that's something that, some actors really talk about, which is
Yep.
in other countries, there's a system of training and we don't quite have that here. So what about the rest of you? What's something that really, in your experience so far,
I'll
has
say
really
story
bugged
lah.
you? Oh.
Definitely story. Yeah. Because to me, right, when I watch overseas films, right, and of course we watch local stuff, right, it's very different. You can see like there's a very clear gap in the production value, the standards, and it all boils down to the writing, Yeah, because the writing, the story is actually the spine of the whole film or the whole drama. And the thing is, we just don't have it lah. We just don't have it here yet, and it's very unfortunate lah. One of the reasons, of course, it's a chicken and egg thing because our market is very, very small. So some people feel that maybe there's not much money to be made, right, in the film industry in Singapore because the market is so small. Good script writers who come into the industry realize that the market is so small. After a while, they just give up and then they leave. Actors, there are many, many very solid actors in Singapore who are not like uncovered. Yeah, I think Ice is one of them. I mean, Ice is a brilliant actor, and he's just not mainstream, But is he a good actor? His craft is damn good. He's got crazy range, much better than a lot of like mainstream actors,
Mainstream actors.
Yeah. And the thing is, he just doesn't get the opportunity in Singapore because the market is so small.
And there's no this type of so-called role that's been so-called written to have the capacity to have an actor like that.
Yes,
Right?
correct.
Because
Our
our
stories,
stories are
all,
very limited.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And it's also because of how we control the narrative. It's our media,
Censorship
what's
is
the
one thing.
IMDA and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
there's a reason why they do it. There's a good reason why they do it. But it is just what it is. That's why our Singapore entertainment industry is just like that. Because there are obstacles that we have to cross and it's not easy to cross.
Yeah, and it's preventing that growth,
Correct.
right?
Yeah, it's a chicken and egg problem. I don't blame them.
Yeah.
If you ask me to sit behind that panel and decide how to move this whole thing forward, I also cannot tell you how. I really don't know. It's very hard to find a balance. I also can understand the whole market in Singapore, why it's like that.
Yeah.
No choice, really no choice.
And Joshua
Excuse me,
wanted to
I'd like to offer a different perspective on the matter because I think a lot of us, we always just blame the market, right? We blame the size of Singapore. We blame, we don't have enough people to support our industry. But I feel that we don't have to look at it that way. I feel that we can look at cultural export and making Singapore films just flood the market overseas. I don't think there's anything wrong with that vision of replicating what the Thais do or Koreans do. There's no reason why Singapore film cannot travel. My biggest gripe is that because we're in a cycle where because we say, our market is too small, that's why we won't invest. That's why we don't want to create new things that challenge the norm. Because we keep citing this whole, our market is too small, we can only sell to Malaysia, who else will understand our product? But I beg to differ. I think that Netflix has shown us that any film, if it's good enough, it appeals to the right people, targeted in the right way, people will watch and people will consume. And it can break through that monotony of we're just Singapore, right? We got 5-6 million people. We can't sustain this industry, but I think we can do better.
Yeah.
I think we need people to believe in the industry.
It boils down back to the product itself. There is a reason why Netflix are not investing in Singapore productions. Yeah, they're just buying Singapore shows, right? I think we need someone, a director or a good story, which is exactly what Charlie said, maybe with a small budget. I think one of the good examples maybe we can talk about is the How to Make Millions Before Grandma Dies. It's not really a massive budget film, right? It has a very good storyline. It has good actors, and a film like that can travel. Right, so just apply that to maybe our own Singapore unique stories, and maybe one of the film that can break these boundaries. That would be the start of a new era, a new generation. Yeah, I mean we are all banging for that.
I mean we do have films that travel.
Like Wonderland has been great.
Apprentice, like those. What's the Hangman show? That's Apprentice,
Apprentice,
right?
yeah, it was great as well.
We do have films that travel. Of course, these are. I don't know if they're IMDA funded. At the end of the day, you want to do a film, right? You want to do a good film. You also need budget, right? You need money that's coming in. If let's say, unless you're not getting money from IMDA or government parties, right? You're doing it like private investors who come in, right? Yeah, I think it works. You can get a good story. You can get it out of Singapore. But let's say if you're somebody who's really passionate and you don't know where to find this money, then it's a bit difficult for you to do a project like that. You know what I mean?
So Tosh, I understand that you wrote the Our Boys to Men theme song. Could you tell us what that was like? How did you, what was the process like for you?
Actually, Wei Liang was supposed to write the song because Wei Liang is from Ge Tai, right? So he has a musical background and he sings very well. So actually Jack approached him and said, hey Wei Liang, why don't you write a song for the movie? But Wei Liang told him Jack, I don't know how to write song, I only know how to sing. Then Wei Liang came to me and he was like, hey Tosh, you are into hip hop, right? Can you write something? Then I told him I've never written a song, but he was like, just try, if not I have to write. Then I was like, oh okay, I'll try. Then I just went home and then I wrote random lines. Then I came to set because in part 1 and part 2 I didn't have much scenes. So a lot of times I'm observing them, I'm just watching the recruits running around and things like that. So I just finished the song and I did a demo and I sent it to Jack. And he was like, this is quite catchy. And one thing I didn't expect is that when the song was released, the response was super amazing. And then whenever we did movie promos, we would enter the stage with that song. And then it became like a thing.
Like an entrance theme.
Not just whenever we have a new promo, even even for our walk-in.
Yeah, even for my own wedding, I use it.
It's like a WWE entrance.
很闪这样嘛, so I used it. Yeah.
That song actually got me interested in becoming a musician.
Wow.
Because I saw the results, right? Then I received messages from fans asking, hey, when are you gonna write your own music? And I was like, oh, okay, maybe I can do this. My favorite soundtracks is actually from the movie The Lion Man. And Bunz and me, and there's another guy called Wen Han. So the three of us, we actually penned quite a number of songs, and those are the songs that I feel musically and sonically they were better than the first Boys to Men song. Yeah, and they were very catchy, and our fans loved the music as well.
So it's not just Tosh, but like many of you here are multi-hyphenated artists, right? You don't just act, you do many, many things.
Maxi is a great singer.
Oh,
Yeah?
he is.
Yeah?
He is. He does a wonderful rendition of Starboy.
How about you just show us right now?
Yeah.
That's crazy. Sometimes I don't know why people pay me to sing.
It's not the
this.
weekend,
Yeah.
the weekday. We have the weekday.
Off day, bro. I'll probably have off day.
Maxi, I know that you do multiple things. You own several F&B businesses.
Yeah.
You also, why don't you run us through that long list of what else you do and how did you come about those things? Did acting influence any of those decisions for you?
I guess as the year go by, the more I don't want to be like a working actor. Like in some sense, I hate to say this, like I'll start to cherry pick roles because I just don't want to do it for the money. That's why I ventured into F&B and I think even into the funeral business. Of the passion for acting, I just don't want to do it for the money. I want to do something that is like truly resonates with me and truly that I can be creative with, and not just like any other role that come by and I just do it for the money. So this is why I started to venture into like the different stuff.
I see.
Yeah.
Every great day starts with the right support. Nourish your well-being from the inside out. Health in harmony for you and your loved ones. Holistic Way, your trusted Singapore's #1 health supplement brand.
I know, Charlie, you're a realtor as well,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Did you this what Maxi
I think
said
exactly the
resonated with you?
same reason. Over the years, right, I came to realize that I'm doing a lot of acting just for the sake of paying bills. And I hated that feeling. Yeah, I hated to do roles that I didn't want to do, but I had to do it because I needed to pay bills. Yeah, and it killed my passion for acting. It really killed it. I don't want that to happen because it's something that I really love. And it's like my hobby. So it was great for a while, like when you can do your hobby and then you can sustain. But after a while, it won't work. So I need to do something else, right? So that I can sustain this passion of mine. Yeah.
Actually, don't you find it ironic that when we were starting out, like I think most actors dream about being a working actor, right? They
Yes.
dream that, oh, my job can feed me.
Correct.
But then when we're at the stage where our job can feed us, we go the other way instead. Isn't it kind of funny?
Yeah, I think over the years, because also of the amount of projects that we do, then like you keep doing and doing, right? Okay, Singapore, most of the roles that you get, like we talk about typecasted, right? Generally, is about there. You don't get much of a huge range for you to showcase or anything. So after a while, it gets a little bit tiring.
And I understand Joshua and Bunz, you're both producers, right? So how did producing come about for you?
I think for me, it's exactly the reasons that you guys mentioned. Like, we don't want to just do this acting role to pay the bills. So in order to get the roles that we want, we create them, right? And how to do that is, the only way is to move back to the back of the screen and try to find projects or resources and try to do productions on our own. And that's what I did. So basically, we as a company, we actually did two series for a musical web series that we always wanted to do, because we started off, me and my co-founder started off as musicians. So this is something that we always wanted to do, but we didn't have a chance to even see a production like that in Singapore. So there's no other way that we can do it. The only way we can is, okay, go and create this. Yeah, so I guess that was my reason for moving back of the screen, and also for stability in that sense. Even you have made a name in A Boys to Men movies, but the path of being a full-time actor in Singapore is still not as glamorous, I would say. Yeah, you get the money to pay the bills, yes, but you don't really get enough to sustain a good living. Then you can cherry pick to base off whatever you have earned, you see. If we have already made that enough reserve or cash flow, right, we can still pick our roles, but it's not enough. Right, that's just the fact lah.
That's the reality
Yeah,
of
that's
it
just
lah.
the reality
Yeah.
of it lah. So we have to venture out. I mean, for me, I have to venture out into other areas. So in order to sustain this passion, to prevent it from dying, yeah, because once it goes off, then yeah, it's not a place that I want to stay already.
Yeah. What about Joshua?
I think I have to caveat that all of us are very blessed to be able to feed ourselves through our craft. I think not
For so many years lah,
So many
right,
years.
yeah.
Actually, we've been like 12
Very,
years.
very grateful already.
In the industry, and to be able to feed ourselves is really a huge privilege lah. I don't want to downplay that, but having said that, I also think that in a way we do face a bit of like first world problems where we do get burnt out by just taking things because we need to pay the bills. And for myself, as to why I ventured into producing things that I've learned along the way, I learned from Pauke. And I think I find it very interesting to be able to enact change from just beyond being in front of camera. And like to learn new things like virtual production, understand a bit more of the process. I think it's very, very cool. And
No, I'm thinking about since when he's Pauke, like trying to pour him or what?
no, but actually, I really worked with him a lot
Okay,
for the
okay,
past
okay.
2 years, and I really learned a lot of things from him. So I think as a producer, definitely it's a different lens that you take on, and you are able to enact a lot more change than just being in front of camera.
Yeah.
You are able to put teams together. You are able to put teams together, and you're able to put concepts together to see it to fruition. It's very different. It's very rewarding as well.
But also, I think being producers, right? I think it gives us another pair of lens to look at the actors that we work with as well. Like we have another perspective. For me, especially like when I go back to set, when I'm co-acting with someone else, there's way more things that I'm trying to evaluate rather than just being an actor by itself, right? There's a lot more parts that even our crew, who are we working with, you can call it maybe a professional hazard, but again, it's like you have so much more perspective in terms of this job scope rather than just being an actor. And also by venturing into other businesses, life experiences are the things that we get out of those things, right? And being an actor, you need those.
Yeah.
And sort of then that forms another cycle, good cycle in that sense. Yeah. We don't have training, never mind. We life trains us.
I agree. It's like a natural progression. Like as much as we like to just be pure actors, sometimes like life just takes us a different way, and we learn more. We learn more on the ground, and then you can translate those life experiences to the screen as well.
Yeah. You know, when I was stuck being an actor for so many years, and when I moved out of acting, I realized there's so many things I don't know. Yeah.
Like what?
Like just other stuff like how to operate a business. There's so many things that we do not know.
Yep.
But I mean, life is the best teacher, I think, for an actor. So it's good that if you can, in some way, live like a colorful life. So you are able to use all those experiences and tap into those experiences for your acting. So it comes off naturally.
Yes.
Yeah.
Try not to live a too colorful life. Also no good.
That one we take it offline.
You're right.
And Tosh, I mean, you also make music as well. So how has, because Our Boys to Men was filmed many years ago, right? So how have your life experiences over time shaped your own craft as a musician and as an actor?
I think after we did Our Boys to Men 4, I entered like a phase where I felt like leaving the industry because I found myself being very addicted to the attention and the fame. And then when I feel like I'm not as hot as I used to be, I would like go into a very dark place because I based my whole entire self-worth and value on how many followers I have, how many shows I get, how many fans turn up for my performances. I basically like kind of became a hermit, and then I ventured into like fashion. I started a fashion store because I was thinking like, okay, if my fashion store can sustain me, then I can totally just once in a while I'll just appear, do a role or a show here and there. One thing that I didn't see coming is it was me venturing into doing business that made me fall in love again with being an artist. Yeah, because when I was there, I realized that I was living in like a fantasy. I thought like, wow, business, okay, I'll just open a store, it'll be very cool, my friends can come and hang out. Then I can tell people, hey, I have a fashion store, like, wow, very cool. Yeah, but when you're there, when you are doing the accounts, you're doing the inventory, you have to handle your staff, their emotions, manage them, and your customers. I realized, wow, this is not me, man. Then I start to miss creating. I miss being on set. And then I did my store for like almost 3 years, 2.5, 3 years. And then now that I'm back, I feel like rejuvenated and refreshed. Yeah, and I realized that I'm born to be a creative, and I wouldn't give this up for anything. Like what Josh said just now, like sometimes we get very burnt out, but we are also very thankful that we are able to make a living off what we love. Yeah.
And Noah, have you ever experienced this burnout? I understand that you also do other things, like you just did your stand-up show as well, right?
I'm one of the few lucky ones to be able to sustain my life now
With no burnout.
purely. No, I mean I don't feel burnout because
Because
feel
you're a
that
complete sellout.
I
Sorry. Yeah, continue. Just
yes,
kidding.
I'm making a living right now, happily. No, but I don't think I feel burnt out yet because ultimately I'm very thankful to be able to do acting, purely acting and hosting and social media as my main source of income.
Yeah.
Like what everyone said, right? It's not sustainable in the long run. That's why I'm planning to open a business as well soon, and through that I hope it can sustain what I always have loved to do, which is what I'm doing now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm curious, from the time that you started Our Boys to Men, and now it's been over a decade, and a few of you have mentioned social media and fame, right? And how do you think that has expectations from audiences, from people, from fans has changed and affected you as an artist from the time you started until now? I know this is something that's every actor has to deal with, right? How many followers they have, how hot they are at that moment. Yeah, maybe Maxi, do you want to touch on this?
I guess don't chase fame. Yeah,
Let it chase you.
let it chase you. I think fame is like a byproduct of your hard work. If it happens, it happens.
Yes.
Yeah, just don't get too concerned about the numbers.
Charlie, how do you agree with what Maxi
I
said?
think, yeah, of course, like this one everybody knows, don't chase fame. It's if you chase it, the more you chase it, the more you won't get it. But I think we've been through the highs, and then obviously we know that it's temporary. You never know when is the day that you're just going to be irrelevant. But you need to be prepared for that, because when the day comes, right, it's going to hit you like a truck.
Yeah.
And yeah, if you're not prepared, then mentally you probably won't be in a good place lah. So fame is a thing. Okay, especially in Singapore, if you get this kind of popularity, right, like what we have experienced, we're very, very lucky. We're really one of the lucky people who experience this kind of crazy fame. But the thing is, they don't teach you how
To handle it,
and they don't teach you when it happens, right? When you become irrelevant, then how to deal with that. And all this you have to figure out yourself lah. Because when you're riding the highs of it, right, you will never expect yourself to one day come down one. Yeah, but it will happen. I mean, it's like artist life also, Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, all these followers things, right? It shouldn't be your identity lah.
I think a good example would be yourself.
Yeah.
Because you never chase fame. Then one day you decided to
you
post.
hated it, bro.
Yeah, you decided to post.
I hated social media. Just put it this way, I didn't like
Then you
social
decided
media.
to post a video of his wedding, then you get 60k followers.
You know what's ridiculous?
This is riding on people.
It's crazy.
There's no originality
You guys
at
get
all.
no right to say this, Lord. I'm in the video.
It's your wedding, you don't even get 1,000 followers.
Hang on. Yes, I didn't even gain 1,000 followers.
You did lah. I thank you, you
posted the
did.
same video. I lose followers. You gain 60 followers. 60,000.
So what's the moral of the story? Always play dirty.
Oh, huh? No lah.
Yeah, always.
Hey, the conversation is about not to chase fame. How come this sounded like, hey,
It was just a genuine video. I wanted to congratulate my brother on his wedding.
Okay.
The only mistake I did was I did not collaborate with him. So he didn't get
I
the
get it also. But okay, wait. Actually, I also touching on Maxi's point. Right? Sometimes fame is not really a byproduct of your hard work, because I think a lot of hustlers out there who work very hard, right, but they don't actually get famous.
Yeah.
So it's not really like you work hard, you will definitely be famous. And I think a lot of the newer generation now, I think everyone wants to be an influencer and everyone wants to be famous, but it's a big difference between chasing fame and understanding fame also, and what is the purpose of fame. So for us, we experienced fame at a very early age, probably when we didn't know what we were supposed to do with it or what we were going through, and it's like a drug. It's really like a drug.
It is.
Yeah.
Because we were on it for like a good 4 or 5 years, and then slowly it peters out, and then you're like, you worry about relevancy, you worry about, is there demand for me? Like, am I gonna get any jobs? And it's sad lah. Like once you're not relevant, you get kind of pushed out in a way. So I think honing your craft is way more important than honing numbers. Because if you are a good craftsman, you will have your skill set, no matter whether you're hot or not. But if you depend on fame, then it's quite dangerous and it's quite sad sometimes if no one day wants you anymore.
Yeah. It sounds like, several of you have ventured into different, businesses. You've taken a break. You've grown a lot through the past decade. And if there's anything you could go back in time to change from when you were acting at Boys to Men, what would it be? Whether it has to do with craft or even how you handled fame, things like that. Maybe Charlie, do you want to start?
I will start a Boys franchise business. 100%. Back then.
Absolutely right.
Yeah.
Actually,
I think we would have been millionaires
we
by
never
now.
think of it. No,
Yeah,
actually, no,
that was
because
all
that time
young,
we was
and we were
young.
stupid.
Then we
And
were
we
just
were
caught
just
up in
like,
the whole
and
thing,
then everybody
right?
was like famous people, I got Instagram numbers, but that
You're right, bro.
but nobody cares about your damn numbers.
yeah,
But
if
that
last
time it
time we
was like
start,
everybody's like goal, okay.
Yeah.
The next movie we're gonna get how many followers, Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, but if we
damn
would
stupid,
have
but
just sat
I
down
can-
and put our minds
Correct,
together
correct.
and started a business or something,
Yeah.
or just something along.
Like just for 2 years
leverage
we
on
whack
that.
an ice cream business, okay, hood, sell.
Yeah, a boy's ice cream.
Yeah,
Wah,
whatever. Whatever.
Like so, the
Merchandise
things
sell.
yeah.
I think we're better actors now because we have time to hone our craft.
We got money to hold the crowd.
Yes, correct.
We will pay and produce our own stuff. Really.
Probably.
Yeah.
Yeah. What about you, Tosh?
I think something similar to that. Last time when we started to make a bit of money, like not a lot of money,
No, not even a lot.
we were.
Yeah.
In fact, when
We
our
were
first.
famous but poor.
Yeah, it's for real. Like the first 2 movies when it came out, right? Like we can go out, like a lot of people know us, right? But we were broke.
Yeah.
But we have to keep up like this
Image.
this facade, right?
false image, yeah.
Then we had to keep every time we appear, we have to wear something different. Then
Cannot
makeup
rewear.
must be done, hair must be
Cannot
done.
take MRT,
Yeah.
cannot take bus.
Yeah, you're right.
But heck it lah, we just take down, I don't care anymore.
Then when we started to make a bit of money, I wished I was more financially prudent.
You wish you had put more into Bitcoin that time.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right.
Actually, wow.
Yeah.
Now that you say, yeah. Back then 应该找全部 A Boys 的钱pump 那个 Bitcoin. Back then it was $1.
Yeah,
You'll be rich now.
That's
Okay, all these are not financial advisors. I'm saying.
Put disclaimer.
I need to
Disclaimer.
tune out right now.
On that note, have any of you gone back to watch the movies recently?
Yes, actually, me and
Yes.
him, we watched part 3 together recently.
Yeah, how was
Yeah.
that like for you? Watching yourself?
They can't remember, they were drunk.
But it was good. It was good. It was
Yeah.
good. Yeah. Just a lot of memories. So.
Actually, on TikTok now, there's one guy going around cutting up our movies and posting the snippets on TikTok. So like once in a while, I scroll TikTok, I would happen to watch that snippet and I'll just watch it lah. But
How does
good
it feel
times
to see your younger self? And
Well, actually,
back then?
we never really changed much. Our face, I think we never really aged much. Thankfully, but
still
it's
look like
good
a
to. Yeah, it's good.
How about 你咬这个桌子 just for
Compare
before and
clean the
after.
dustbin out, clean the dustbin behind. 给我 dustbin 了，谁给我电话？我这 so lame.
Hey.
How about you like the cigarette?
Yeah. Oh, I tell you, the way he smokes in the movie is damn bad.
It's so
damn
bad.
cui.
Oh my god. It's so bad.
Outside,
The gaffer was teaching me how to smoke, so everything I do is from the gaffer teach me one.
No,
No,
Really?
wait. Nobody likes
I
a
never,
cigarette
I
like that.
never seen someone like
I
a
think
cigarette
Jack
like that.
这样让他过咩？
Yeah, he ended up in a movie, what?
Yeah, that's right, because the gaffer teach me one what. If y'all were on set, I would smoke like a
Okay,
pussy.
but do you agree that it was bad?
It's bad, it's
It's
bad.
really good. And after you like this cigarette, you kick the dustbin.
You think this is my creative input, is it? Hey, I want to light a cigarette, I want to kick the dustbin. This is my
Remember
my
just now I said
creative
about
input.
50-50 creative input.
So I kick the dustbin.
Okay, come back.
Yeah, so, wow, we talk about what?
$1 Bitcoin.
No,
okay.
but
No
what's
lah.
that already?
No, asking you about like
No,
watching your
it feels
old
good
self.
to
Yeah.
it feels good to have this kind of memories suddenly pop up.
Actually, if anything, he'll be the one who watches our own movies the most. He loves himself too much,
Yeah,
man.
narcissist.
Yeah, he's a narcissist. Like he
Okay,
keeps
see,
watching his own stuff, you know? Yeah.
Nobody watched my stuff, so I have to be the one that support my own self.
Self-love.
Yeah, self-love is the best love.
Compassion for yourself, okay?
Not narcissist lah, assholes.
Self-pity.
And what about the producers? When you watch yourself now, how do you look back on your performances?
For me, it's really more of that memory that everyone was talking about. I think like A Boys to Men 3 really left a very big imprint in my journey. Like, it's the brotherhood that formed during that time, as you can see throughout this entire, round table. Like, all of us are still very connected. And we don't get that kind of friendship a lot in this industry, especially, right? Then also is that mindset, I would say again, is that our trainer, who was Sir Frankie, right? He instilled in us mind over body. I still carry it now. Like, even no matter what I do in my life, I still carried that, like as a motto. And which I think that was one of the biggest takeaway, that when I rewatched the film, I can feel that fire being shown in that particular film. Yeah. But as producer, I mean, I should have made a bit more decisions to, maybe make a plan out of that.
Yeah.
But we don't have the knowledge back then. Yeah.
And what are you currently working on? I want to know what's next for each of you. Like, what are you excited about these days? Yeah, maybe Joshua, do you want to start?
Oh, I'm actually producing like a faith-based docu-series. It's more like about the impact of Christian film on society. So I think for myself, maybe I've enjoyed like the commercial route a bit, and now I think I want to do something a bit more meaningful that relates to my faith. So not to say I wouldn't go back to commercial work. I still do commercial work as well, but I think I'm interested in producing more interesting concepts. I also hope to do more action series, and of course I know that in Singapore we've got a few talented action stars as well. So yeah, I think it'd be cool to do more action stuff.
Like,
Max loves action. Right?
Yeah, but like over a decade in this industry, 没有人 cast 我做 action 的，奇怪。
So maybe you need to go back to the Aloysius Chin size.
Yeah. Maxi, what's next for you? And what are you currently working on?
Currently, I think me and Joshua, we got a small role in Jack's latest movie. I think I Wanna Be Boss. And I think besides of that, I'm thinking of, for my F&B side, like able to franchise out to potential investors. So this is what I've been working on.
Cool.
Yeah.
Nice.
So whoever want to like open a shop,
Kinbro.
let me know. Yeah.
And Noah, how about yourself?
I'm starting an event space company. So people can rent the space and use it for birthday parties, gender reveals, basically any corporate events. It's called Space Now. Yeah. And it's with my friends. And I just shot a movie in May. It's called We Can Save the World. Yeah, it's a sci-fi comedy, Singaporean sci-fi comedy, and it'll be out hopefully next year. Yeah.
Actually, just a quick diversion. On the topic of indie films, what was that like? Working on an indie film?
Oh, it feels good actually, because it's been a long time since I've been back on a movie set. And for this film in particular, I think everybody's around my age, so still quite young. You can see that. What
the hell?
Yeah, you jealous? What? You're older than me.
You're 31. Why are you young?
What's your problem?
No.
What?
31 is not very
Okay,
young.
I'm okay. I still can
Just
function.
because you're childish
I still
doesn't
can
mean you're
function.
young.
I think you're trying hard to be a Gen Z, but you're,
Yeah.
you're a millennial.
Yes, I am. Proudly. Yeah. So what we're talking
Yeah,
about.
okay, yeah.
Talking about
Your
talking about
movie,
indie films,
movie.
talking about indie productions. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah,
Everybody
yeah.
is still young and functioning well. Yeah. And you can see that you can really see the fire and passion that everyone has on set. Yeah. I be it acting, directing, or producing or what.
Yeah.
And I dare say that this film, in the comedy sense, right, is very different from what Singaporeans are used to. Yeah. So I'm very excited for the film's release.
So will you ask us all to buy tickets and support again?
No, I'll try to get you all free tickets because you're the most cheapest here.
I support.
Oh yeah, correct. 我是不是 support?
But you still show support when support is due, correct?
Fantastic.
That's it, yeah.
We paid tickets to go watch his show.
Yeah, okay. I just want to say,
paid for
okay,
ticket,
everyone here
yeah.
very steady because I did my first stand-up comedy this year, and
100多
everyone.
块嘞，
Yeah.
这样贵。
Yeah, 好笑吗
But really, I just came for your jokes only. After that, I left already. You can ask Tosh.
I remember walking
Because
out
he left
and
with Tosh what?
then when I walk out, you're all drunk already. So
Support lah, brother, support.
And Charlie, what's next for you? What are you currently working on?
Actually, now I'm more on properties. So like I'm learning the ropes lah of the business, and also myself, I just shot a indie movie this year,
Wow.
which will be out next year lah.
Yeah. And what is that like for indie production?
Actually,
for
that was
you?
quite fun. That was
Yeah.
quite fun
Yeah.
because that was one movie, right, that I really didn't do it for the money. Yeah, because the director is quite a close friend. He used to be an EP in Channel 5 lah, and he wanted to do this. This was his story, and it's a very genuine story. And when I read it, right, I'm like, okay, this is something that I want to be on board, and I'm so glad that I was actually given this opportunity lah. Yeah. I think Singapore, we can do a lot more with this kind of movies because it's very meaningful. I think when it's out, then you guys can probably catch it lah. Yeah, it's about a story about dementia, which is something that's very real in Singapore. And yeah, lor, just basically. But now I'm almost a little bit detached from the entertainment industry lah. Yeah.
Come back.
Yeah.
Come back in a few years.
no, he want to sell GCB first.
Yes, I'll sell one first. I'll sell Noah Yap's parents' houses.
It's not GCB, bro. I wish.
Never mind, it's okay. I'll take the terrace.
Sell to who? Sell to me.
I sell to Maxi Lim for 200K.
Don't engage him, okay? He's gonna
这个是那个
unethical.
trailer.
Selling fire sale.
And what about you, Bunz? What's next for you? What are you currently working on?
I'm okay. After working in behind the scene for about 8+ years, like I've given myself a goal to move back to the front of the screen a bit more. To do a bit more acting, and also 2025, I do have a plan to do more songs. Probably with Tosh if time and opportunity comes. Then at the same time, still doing producing. Currently working on a music video as well for a friend with IMDA's support for the VP lah. But still in the pitching process. So hopefully we'll be able to get to do that. It'll be something interesting lah. Because VP is something really new, and I think Singapore do have the capacity and the creative talent to push this boundary a bit more. So hopefully we can get that out soon. Yeah.
Nice. And Tosh, yourself?
I just did my first Malaysian movie in April, May. It was shot in Ipoh and Penang, and it will be released next year around Chinese New Year. But it will only be released in Malaysia, if I'm not wrong. Yeah, and it's called I Am Calefare. So the film is basically showing the experiences of a background actor on set. Sometimes how they can feel left out or treated badly, and how they are not any lesser than the lead or supporting actors, because they also create the entire energy and vibe on set. Yeah, so I think the film is very meaningful, and it's a comedy as well. So yeah, and I'm also doing a lot of music now. Next year I'll be performing somewhere where the grandest stage of Singapore, and I have a lot of shows coming up, and I'm not getting any younger, so I need to put more time and effort into doing music, because I've been procrastinating a lot in my 20s. I was thinking I'm still young, I can do music later, but in a blink of an eye I'm 35, so pushing 40, so I'm doing my best to put out more quality music and hopefully more quality roles. Yeah.
I'm sure there are a lot of stories that people, don't know about. They went on behind the scenes of A Boys to Men. So I'm wondering if there were any that you could share with us today. Feel free to jump in, anyone.
I think most of it cannot share. But I thought of something that is safe lah. I think when working,
Sure, it's safe.
yeah,
SFW.
No, today I trust him. Today he's quite sane. Yeah,
Sane.
he's quite sane. Today he's quite sane.
today is like maybe 20%.
Yeah.
Because I see everybody's vibe like quite serious also.
Yeah.
I guess when you work in a Jack Neo movie, let's say you see the script, you got a chunky line, don't celebrate first. Even after you shot that scene, also don't go and celebrate. Because more likely than not, a lot of scenes will be deleted.
Yes.
So only celebrate when
When
that
after you
scene
watch the movie.
makes it into the cut.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like no yet, but
Okay, so for Our Boys Men 3, right, I was in army, so I couldn't shoot that my scenes. So I had this pretty long scene, and then it was me going back to the camp and realizing it was a wrong camp. So I was at the premiere of the show with all of them. So I remember, because that was my only scene, I was so happy, to be there in a movie. So I watched the whole cut with them, and I watched, and then it went past the book-in scene already, because my scene was a book-in scene. So I watched, then that scene, right, don't know why it was not in the movie. Then I thought, okay, maybe he put it elsewhere in the movie. Then I think cannot
which
be
he did.
Correct.
He did.
And then
He
the
put it
scene-
in the
Credit roll.
No,
it
and
was in the
the funny
credits.
thing was actually before that he already knew. I think Maxi told him.
No, I knew, but I refused to believe it. I thought he was just like messing with me. And then end up, it gave me the truth.
Yeah. So any scene can cut out one. Yeah.
Were there any scenes that you really wish were kept in that got cut out in the end?
I don't know if I really want this scene to be in a movie, but there was a scene whereby in A Boys to Men 3, I think Bunz and several of the boys, I was having a shower. So they took away my clothes. And then I did not have any clothes, so I need to go to the bunk with just a plunger at my groin. And I used a plunger to knock on the door. Yeah.
They
There was
took
this
it out,
scene.
man. They took it out. Ah?
No, this scene was inside.
Oh, okay.
But it's
Actually,
censored.
No.
It's
There
cut
was
out, right?
another scene before this scene. So before I used the plunger, actually I went out. So I took the Nivea facial wash and put it on my groin. And I went out and I slipped and fell. So there was a close up of 那个 Nivea 在那地上。Yeah, then 那个 client 觉得 I think it's a bad representation for the brand. So that whole scene was removed. So straight away I took the plunger and went already. Yeah.
What about any other stories that you like to share from behind the scenes?
The stories that really.
I think 不要 share 那个 lineman 的 lineman 的
哪一个？
那个 cruise all the kind of nonsense.
Cannot.
No, but yeah. Okay, yeah, okay. I will not.
Those are career-ending stories.
It's nothing. I mean, it's just we had a lot of fun.
It's just boys, lah.
Yeah, just
Yeah.
boys.
boys.
So there's basically nothing too spicy that can be shared, essentially.
Okay, actually I got one. This was actually during A Boys to Men 1. I don't know whether you all remember, but I remember very vividly because Director Jack asked me to film a special scene. So he actually cleared the set. I was like, what's going on? Like, a lot of the crew members left. Then I didn't know we were shooting it that day, or I wasn't sure we were going to shoot it that way. So he asked me to put on my pants. I'm like, what is this for? So we had to shoot a bum scene of mine in the bunk where I had to bare my bum. So I didn't know for whatever reason that we were shooting that scene that day. So actually I didn't do the proper preparation work needed for that scene.
Which is to clean the ass.
No, it's not.
Bleach, you're gonna bleach that.
You said his ass stinks, right?
Did I say that? Probably
from the
did,
start.
probably
Something like that.
Probably
Something
did,
like
probably
Didn't
did.
wash his
I had to
ass.
hug it,
Yeah, you have to kiss it,
hug
right? Kiss it.
So
I don't remember kissing.
okay, wait.
You did.
I
You
can't-
kiss his ass, man.
You were like that, then you like.
Yeah. I didn't go number 2 before or whatever, but it was just very embarrassing because I think I wasn't prepared.
You didn't
And then-
shave.
I didn't shave. So I didn't know how we would shoot it and the extent we would go as well. So what happened was that he actually just like, okay, now 你要做这个 then 你要这样 then 你要这样 then you just face the cam. Then so my back was facing the camera, then my front is facing the other side. Then I'm like, what are you guys gonna do to me? It's very vulnerable actually. If you think about it that way, like, wow, I really bare my bum. Anyone can just play with me anytime they want to. And
No lah, you are
Don't do that,
no, but it's very scary, right?
So
You're-
delusional.
That's
You stay away from that thing, you know.
I think everybody wants to get a piece of you.
But it's
isn't it?
very scary, you know. Like as a man, you don't know what someone's going to do.
Like
to
very
you.
vulnerable.
Yeah, very
lah,
vulnerable. I've never been in that position before. Okay, you gotta imagine like if someone asks you, just do it right now, and not prepared. Like, hey, what's going on? So like, then after that, apparently I found out later that actually Director Jack didn't use that shot in the end. Because he said my ass not nice, so he actually did a stand-in. So someone else used their.
Was it Maxi's ass?
I don't know, but it was someone else's bum, not my bum.
No,
that
mine,
made
not
the
mine.
final cut.
I reserved mine for part 3. One was a
No,
full,
but actually Maxi's ass
naked
surprisingly
leg.
is quite nice.
It's very nice. Actually,
Yeah,
it's,
there's no
very nice.
cellulite.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we are talking about his asses.
It's very perky.
Thanks. Because back then there was a stupid rumor saying my ass full of cellulite. So I had to debunk that once and for all with that scene.
I remember that.
Crazy rumor.
So, okay, set the record straight. Maxi had a much nicer ass than mine, and mine's very flat. It's not very nice. It's not aesthetically pleasing. It wasn't what he wanted for that shot.
Also, it was somebody else's ass.
Someone else's
so
ass.
whose ass do you kiss?
No, it's yours lah, bro. I
No,
remember
it was your ass.
grabbing
There was
it. It's
stand-in.
yours. It's
No, there was a
yours.
stand-in.
You block off this memory, bro.
What's standing? There's no standing.
No, the final cut, it wasn't my ass, bro. Promise
No,
you.
it's
It's just gonna
yours.
become an internet mystery now.
I was
People are
there,
gonna
what?
look
Yeah,
into
I
this.
was there, what?
We shot it, but the final cut is a different ass. It's not my ass. I
You are-
recognize my ass anywhere.
This guy really blocking out this.
No, I know my own ass.
Maybe it's
This can
traumatic.
be a
Traumatic.
Hey, you know
good,
why? I remember because
intro.
there was a mole.
Yeah, it's something like that. A pimple or mole or something.
was
It's not
yours.
nice. Yeah.
I don't know lah.
So
Ass pimple is common, don't be sad.
I'm sure you have a lot of stories to share. Were there any other good memories that really brought you guys together as friends? Because it's been a very long time, but you are all still very close. So how have you kept close through the years?
I guess it's through the fact that we went through a lot of difficulty together.
Yes, a lot
Yeah.
of difficult times. Like,
And
yeah.
we are all from like different backgrounds and we all came from nothing. And then we sort of like achieved repeated model success over the years. So I guess this is what really gels us together.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And everybody also help each other, Yeah, when we literally like there's the saying leave no man behind. Like, we are literally like that lah. Yeah.
I remember the times whereby, let's say Tosh is doing a scene and this scene is on him, but we'll do our absolute best
Yeah.
to
100%,
do
yeah.
very well in order to support his scene.
Yes, yeah.
And we'll always keep doing that.
Yeah.
Not for you lah, may you need a
What you
mail
say?
lah.
There's a lie, no?
No, it's a lie
For
for
you.
you. Because
That's
you
because
always
you
mess up
everybody.
everybody's scene.
Yeah, one scene shoot 4 days.
Not only that, when my close up, he sleep, bro. The eye like that. You remember or not?
Yeah, habis sabo.
do you remember there's one line, right?
You go and see what Laopan sent you on your WhatsApp.
中邪
中
了。
邪了
No one, no one.
中邪
Hey, we were shooting for 18 hours at the game. 18 hours! How you want me to concentrate? After that, I still have to hold the hose.
So this is that was my because I don't get a lot of close-ups. Okay, that was my only chance for a close-up, and he had to mess it up until we cannot use that shot.
No, you know what?
And we were so tired already. I had to say so many lines. When I finally got it right, his face was like that in the shot. They cannot use.
God rewarded you because you know what? Karma was a bitch to him. Because he was so upset because he couldn't perform that day, right?
Yeah.
And director Jack, right, took one line, right, and give it to you. And
Yes.
That's for our
Oh,
boys
that was one.
one.
That was our boys one. I'm talking about our boys four.
don't worry about that because during the actual take, right, you can see him in the background. His face is damn angry because he lost the line to Charlie. So he's not even in character. He's just like.
His face was damn
still in the
angry.
Okay, so we are
It's
even.
still in the
now.
movie.
So we are even. You took my line.
Siao, that wasn't my choice.
So what is this scene that took 4 days to film?
It was the nation nation scene for our boys 4.
Yeah, boys, it's one of the scene in the bigger
But
shed.
I just want to say my defense, it was not my fault.
No,
Because
it is.
The
Whose
weather
fault it is?
problem, the lighting, wasn't right.
Oh,
that
blame
day.
the crew lah.
No, then he also blame us because we all stand behind the camera and stare at him when he's shooting.
Yeah, why would anyone do that? As good actors, why would anyone do that? Why?
Give you eyeline
Yeah.
or
Give me a highlight. You would.
you know where to
You're
look.
not even in the scene. What give me a highlight? I don't need your highlight.
Just support lah, you know.
It's okay, bro. So I can deal
Until
without
he
some
had to
support.
tell us, he keep us scolding by Jack, right? Until he had to tell us, hey guys, please, you don't look at me. You look at me, I cannot.
Because from Jack's monitor, right, he cannot see that everyone was crowding around the camera behind.
Only can see
All
him.
he can see is me and then how I'm messing it up.
You know why we went to see or not? Because you kept saying after leaving the boys at time, you did so many other movies and you came back as some really good superstar. Like all the directors really respect your acting. That's why we want to see how good it is. Then when we all go and see, it's still as worse as it was last time. Even 更烂的。
You know what he said? He said, 懂哦，我去那个 set 哦，哇，我演哦。哇！大家鼓掌哎，那个导演给我钱哎，给我钱，因为我那么好。
那个导演看到我 close up，他哭啊，他包我200块哎。
Okay, sometimes I say things because I like to exaggerate because I think it's very funny. So I say it as a joke. Why would you all take it seriously?
No, then you remember our boys' first day?
First day.
First day on set,
First
shoot him
close-up.
first, ma. Yeah,
Yeah.
then we were not there. So it's only him and Dono. Then second day when we all on set, right? He said, 哇，昨天老板讲 我给的西北好。
I remember that.
Okay, but right.
Oh, we were all
No,
there.
correct. To be honest, right, all these things happen, right? But I'm the only one who can vouch because they were all not there. But these things really happen sometimes. But I'm the only one. There's nobody else to verify those stories.
You know what you say not? It really happened sometimes.
Yeah.
How many times is that real?
Like once or twice it happens, yeah.
Okay,
But
okay,
nobody else to vouch for
let me
me.
help. Let me help to round this up for you.
Yeah.
Because this is the reason that why we are still so close lah. We roast each other like that, and it's not just through the film lah. Offset actually we have a lot of times we also spend together. Every major life event, milestones we have, we are there for each other.
Yeah.
Really, if you just scroll back on our stories, and every single one of us when we go through our major lives, our weddings, when our kids, you know, so all these guys are there.
Yeah.
And that explains lah.
And Tosh, how do you think everyone has kept close?
Actually, they are the kind of friends, right, that you don't need to see every day, you don't need to talk to every day. Like sometimes, maybe there'll be random years where I maybe see Charlie once a year.
Yeah.
Or Josh, or I think I see Noah the most. But like even we don't see each other all the time when we meet, right? And you see when we gather together.
Yeah, it felt like we never left like that.
Yeah, we are all grown men, right? But when we come together, we become a bunch of like secondary school kids, right?
Like dudes in the early 20s.
And I love them, because like I can be myself around them, and they can be themselves. We can all be ourselves around each other.
That's so lovely to hear, and obviously today's conversation was very lively, and I'm so glad we got to share so many stories that we've never heard of before. So I just want to thank all of you for sharing so generously today.
Thank you for bearing with us.
It was fun. I had fun. So thank you very much. And we just want to take a moment to thank our sponsor for today, Holistic Way. With its suite of premium natural health supplements, Holistic Way has garnered numerous accolades and awards and gained the trust of not just Singaporeans, but people around the world. Holistic Way remains a well-loved and well-reviewed brand and lives up to its promise as Singapore's #1 health supplement brand. So thank you very much for today. Thanks, guys.